Hello, my name is Sweetisha and welcome to our channel Coding with JS. We will understand the difference between var, let, and const and when to use each.
JavaScript gives you three ways to declare a variable. They are var, let, and const. Most tutorials tell you to just use const and move on. But you will read var in older code for years to come. So today we will see exactly what separates them. And we will do it by running real code, not by reading a table. By the end, you will know which one to reach for every single time. Here is a function with an if block inside it. Everything interesting is going to happen inside that block. We declare the same idea 3 times, once with each keyword. The first one uses var. The second uses let, and the third uses const. Then the block closes. 3 keywords, 1 block, and 3 completely different behaviors. The first real difference between them is scope. Scope simply means where can this name be seen from. Var is scoped to the whole function it sits in. It does not care about the if block at all. Let is scoped to the block, the curly braces around it. And const behaves exactly like let here. On the scope question, let and const are identical twins. Watch what that actually means in practice. The variable a was declared inside the if block. But var pretends that block was never there. It attaches itself to the function instead. So after the block ends, a is still alive. We can log it from outside and it works fine. Let us actually run this file and see. We close the function and call it. Now the whole thing executes. And the console prints the string var. That value escaped the block it was written in. If that feels wrong to you, good, it surprises everyone. This single behavior is the source of most var confusion. Let us look at all 3 variables after the block closes. A is still there holding the string var. It leaked out and now the rest of the function can see it. That is not a bug in your code. It is exactly what var was designed to do in 1995. Function scope was the only scope JavaScript had back then. Now the other 2. B was declared with let inside the block. When that block ended, B ended with it. C, declared with const, is gone for exactly the same reason. Neither of them exists out here anymore. The block was their entire lifetime. They were created when the block opened and destroyed when it closed. So what happens if we try to use B anyway? We get a reference error. JavaScript is telling us that name does not exist here. This is a good error. It fails loudly at the moment you make the mistake. With var, the same mistake would silently give you a stale value. The second difference is hoisting. Hoisting means the declaration is processed before the code runs. With var, the name exists early, holding undefined. So you can read it before you declare it and get undefined. Let and const hoist too, but they refuse to be read early. That gap is called the temporal dead zone. Reading a let variable inside that gap throws an error instead of lying to you. The third difference is redeclaration. With var, you can declare the same name twice in one scope. JavaScript will not warn you, it just quietly overwrites. In a long function, that is how variables mysteriously change. Let and const both throw an error instead. Which is the behavior you actually want? It is worth being fair to var here. Var is not broken and it is not deprecated. It is function scoped and that is all. The problem is that people expect block scope and do not get it. So you will still read var constantly in older code bases. Now you know exactly what it is doing when you do. Now the part almost everyone gets wrong. Here we declare an object with const. Most people read that as, this object cannot change. That is not what it means. Const locks the binding between the name and the value. It says nothing at all about what is inside the value. Think of it as gluing the label to the box, not sealing the box. Watch, we are going to change this const object. We reach inside and set the name property to Sam. This is completely legal. The property changed and JavaScript did not complain. The console shows the object with its new value. The binding never moved, so const has nothing to object to. So what does const actually stop you from doing? It stops you from pointing the name at something else. If we assign a whole new object to user, that fails. We get a type error, assignment to constant variable. That is the one thing const guarantees. The name will always point at the same value. If you want the contents locked too, you need object.freeze. That is a completely separate tool, and it is the one people actually mean. So here is what to actually do. Default to const for everything. It is the strongest signal you can give a reader. Switch to let only when you genuinely reassign the variable. Avoid var in new code, but learn to read it. And remember that const locks the binding, never the value. Get those 3 habits right, and this whole topic disappears.